So good day sir, I am Lahi Camarines from Bismar Etrichali. So in this video I'll be going to report all about the crankshaft deflection. What is crankshaft deflection? Crankshaft deflection is due to inaccurate positioning of its main journal in the bearings. Crankshaft deflection readings are an excellent method of determining engine to drive alignment and main bearing wear, which means both horizontal and vertical misalignment are checked. So when do we perform crankshaft deflection readings? So they should be taken in accordance with any plant maintenance system with an engine surveys conducted. This reading must be done when the engine is cooled because the engine temperature can cause variation in measurements. So in measuring the crankshaft deflections at regular interval to ensure that the alignment of the shaft remains with the permissible limits and those deflections can be measured. In what emergency situation should we apply crankshaft deflection? We can apply crankshaft deflection if the ship encountered collision and grounding, because this may affect the composition and alignment of the shaft and bearings.
Today, I'll be discussing where is the crankshaft deflection must be done. So, crankshaft deflection must be done regularly because it helps to minimize the damages or further damages of the crankshaft or the crank web, and so the crankshaft can be done whenever or wherever the ship is located. So how it is done, or how the measurement of crankshaft deflection is done. So using the traditional method of measuring the crankshaft deflections is to take the measurement of each angle required measurement by placing the deflection measurement gauge or something like that at between the crankshaft or crank web and the rotating crankshaft. So manual readings can be done at each angle. During the rotations, there is each angle that is required, and we can manually read that if the angle is the same, for example 20, and when we rotate that in that angle it's still 20, then the alignment is it's okay. So that's how we done for measuring the crankshaft deflection. Why do we do it? So why do we need to have a crankshaft measuring the crankshaft deflections? So we do it because in order to measure or read the alignment of the shaft, the bearings, and to avoid the crankshaft failure. So crankshaft deflection reading can also help diagnose, can also help an early diagnosis, and can prevent a damage or a worst case crankcase explosions.
So the next topic that I will be discussing is the procedures of performing a crankshaft deflection reading. So the procedure of performing crankshaft deflection reading is, first and foremost, engineer officers and the crews must conduct a toolbox meeting to discuss all the needed information in performing crankshaft deflection reading. So this includes the needed tools that must be carried, and of course, before performing, the officers and the crews must secure and discuss all the necessary precautions and preparations like a enclosed space energy permit, the locking and tagging of the starting mechanism. So after the toolbox meeting, next is check the manufacturer's manual, which is a written document regarding information about the equipment or the machinery. So this contains the necessary information for the safe and effective use of the machinery. So next is open the indicator cocks to remove other combustible particles in the engine, and then open the crankcase door. So after all knowing the things that must be done, so we can start the measurements. So the first unit to be measured is the one wherein the piston is near the bottom dead center position. So to be more precise, it should be right at the beginning of the compression stroke as illustrated in the diagram. So the sequence will then follow the engine's firing order. So as soon as the gauge is in position, the gauge should be set to 0 or to its manual reading. So once it is set up, the crankshaft must be turned using the turning gear and reading must be taken. So measurements will be taken at specified angle, which the positive reading on the dial gauge means the crank throw is opening, and while the negative reading means the compression or closing of the crank throw. So this procedure is repeated for each unit. So after all the unit have been measured, the values will be recorded and calculated to determine the deflection of each of them. So if the deflection of reading exceeds to its allowable limits, it means that your main bearing is worn out or have been damaged. So if this will happen, in order to prevent further damage of the crankshaft or the system, is change both of the main bearings of the crankshaft.